to move on and complete PowerPoint Project 5, the last things we're going to do are do a couple more manipulations, but actually talk about how this can be saved and presented to somebody viewing the presentation. The first item we need to do is we're going to talk about how to change the screen resolution. And this would be if you have a high definition projection type of situation. So I'm going to go under the design tab and come over here to slide size, and normal is standard is 4:3, but if you have a widescreen it's 16 by 9. So I'm going to change that, but in doing so you may need to make a couple adjustments, like for example on this slide here now, I need to move some words at the end down to the next line. Now, the way to do this is I'm going to click before SAN and hold down Shift and hit Enter. And I'm going to do that for each of these. If I hit Enter, it will create a new bullet. See, if I hit Enter, it creates a new bullet. I don't want to do that. I want to hit Shift and Enter and move that to the next line. And it just adds some nice spacing and everything on there. So you probably want to go through and look at your presentation if you change it to widescreen to make sure that that in essence is taken care of. Something else to do is you can set your presentation resolution. This is done by going to the slideshow and going to set up slideshow, and on this menu or on this window that pops up you can change the monitor from automatic to primary, and then the resolution to whatever is fit. The book has changed to 800 by 600. Just to do that, again, some of these things I'm just saying this is how it's done. The book just wants to show you, hey, here's how this is done. I'm going to save this as my normal presentation because the next few things they're going to have us do is save these in different formats, and we'll talk about this. So I'm going to go to File and Save As, and I'm going to go to my folder, and actually I'm going to go start, instead of Save As, I'm going to go to Export and talk about some options here. One export option is I'm going to change file type, and one of the options you can do is save this as what's called a PowerPoint show, and that we're going to go ahead and do this. And what that will do, before I do it, let me explain. If somebody has PowerPoint, they can watch your PowerPoint presentation, but they can also edit it and do things like that. If you want to give your PowerPoint show to somebody to watch and they don't have PowerPoint, or you don't want them to modify it, this would be why you would do this. A benefit, or this is very similar to if you save like a Word document as a PDF. Somebody can view it, they can't modify it easily, and they can, you know, enjoy what the presentation is about. So if you go to Export PowerPoint Show, I'm going to save this in my folder. I'm going to call this Mine Complete. I'm going to call it Show. And notice it puts a PPSX. It puts a different extension on it, and that will be the PowerPoint show that somebody could watch. You could post this on the web. You could email it to somebody. Do whatever you like. Another option you can do under Export and change file type is you can save this as a JPEG, and this will save this as pictures, which is quite nice. So I'm going to call this Mayan Show Complete, and I'll call this Pics. So I'd like you to do both of those, all slides, just to have those. And then let's talk about just a couple other ideas you can do while we're in here. If you go under File again, I'm not going to export this time, but one thing that you can do is you can actually inspect your presentation. You can inspect it for some of these properties. Now, again, depending on who's looking at your presentation, who you're sharing it with, you may want to turn some of these on, some of these off. Like, for example, if you don't want somebody seeing your notes, you can uncheck that. And again, that's under the File menu and Inspect. One thing I'm going to show you how to do, but I'm going to ask that you not do this, just for a couple reasons, is the book has you actually add or encrypt your presentation with a password. This is nice if you want to share this with just some select people and say, hey, the password to get into this presentation is such. They, in the book, have you put Mayan to ruin. I'm going to ask that you not do this just because it's easier for me to grade it if there's no password, but if you do it, I won't take off points or anything along that line. You can also mark this as final, and this will put a note that says that all editing has been done, and say this presentation will be marked as final. And again, you can do that. I just want to mention that as we do this, because that's what the book does. Last thing I want to show you is when you're all done and ready, you can actually present your show, and I'm just going to do this pretty quickly, is when you present your show from the beginning, one thing you can do is you can right-click your mouse and use pointer options, and you can use a pen, highlighter, laser pointer. I'm just going to use the pen for a second and circle some items and do some things like this. Maybe you want to highlight some areas. And then when you're done with your presentation, it'll ask you if you want to keep your ink annotations. So when I do that now, notice now on slide 1 it actually keeps my drawings. So if you keep them or not, it's great. Now if you want to delete those, you can click on them and actually hit your delete key to delete those. But it's kind of a neat feature that you can do in PowerPoint that you would do while you're actually presenting it. So that's what you need to do for PowerPoint Project 5. The specific instructions are in Blackboard. So good luck, and take your time, and hopefully your project will turn out okay.